If you own a 3D printer, then you have a problem. A growing pile of plastic waste from purge, failed prints, and old filament. But what if I told you you could easily turn this into this? This time, I want to walk you through the process I'm now using to recycle old material. And with the aid of the R1 shredder and the M1 filament extruder from Creality, I can turn this into my own recycled filament that actually works in my printers. And more importantly, I want to talk about the economics of doing this to see if recycling is really worth it. So let's dive in. Now, if you saw my previous video on the Creality M1 filament extruder, then you already know it can turn raw pellets into filament. And honestly, that feat alone is pretty impressive. But in this video, we're going to take it one step further, because instead of starting with 100% clean pellets, I want to instead start with this. Now, this pile of ground up plastic comes from purge material, failed prints, and all that unused filament that I have in my shop. It's all the stuff that usually ends up in the trash after you're finished 3D printing. And the goal is to take all of this and turn it back into something we can actually print with again. So we're going on a journey that starts with this simple bucket of purge material and all the other bits of plastic, and transition that to shredded plastic, and then to brand new extruded filament. And finally, we'll make some actual prints out of it. And by the end of this journey, you're going to be able to understand if recycling is something that can save you some real money, and at the same time, give a thumbs up to good old Mother Earth. Okay, the first leg of our journey starts with shredding, and that's because we need to take all of this material we want to recycle, even small things like purge, and break it down into even smaller pieces so that it will go through the filament extruder consistently. And all of this scrap 3D printer material adds up pretty quickly, so I have a lot of it to recycle. This mountain in a bag represents about 2 months of scrap in my shop, and it adds up to more than 10 kilograms. And typically that's just going to end up in a landfill, and I'd like to stop that. Last time I talked about filament, I didn't yet have the Creality R1 shredder, but it finally arrived, and I'm going to use it for shredding at this stage. The Creality R1 is actually pretty straightforward, so I'm not going to do a formal review here, but I will talk about some of its features as we progress through this shredding process of the purge material. But before I get started, I will drop a footnote here and point out that this R1 isn't a giant 3D print crusher. So to use the R1 effectively, you're going to have to break big 3D printed parts down to the point where pieces fit through those holes in the grill at the top of the hopper. In this example, I'm just going to use a container of purge material because it doesn't require additional preparation to get it shredded. This is the easy path, and we can work our way up from here. Before I fill the hopper, though, I will point out that the grinding gears down at the bottom are the things that actually turn and crush the material. They're capable of chewing up pretty much any plastic that fits through those holes in the hopper grate, and will crush them into dust effectively. So without more delay, in we go with the container of purge. Now I can go to the R1's front panel and take a look at some of the settings. First, I can select the material here, and there's quite a long list, but my material that I've put in here is PLA, so I'll select that. Then I can turn on some heat, which seems to soften the material a bit and make it easier to shred. And finally, I really only have to press the start button and the shredding will begin. So with a bit of noise and a lot of grinding, all of my material has gone through the R1, and I can stop the shredder at this point, pull out the shred bin at the bottom of the R1, and you can see it did an excellent job of preparing my material here for the next step. So now we're going to get this material ready to extrude. And at this point, you're going to want to put this shredded material into a dryer of some sort to ensure that the moisture content is below 10%. Now, I'll typically pull one of the spools out of my AMS and place a container in there to dry. But if you have a dehydrator, that'll work even better. While that material is drying, let me cover a bit of a misconception that people don't realize about recycling filament, and that is you can't just melt shredded plastic and expect good filament to be produced. Every time plastic is reheated, it degrades slightly, and you can find lots of information online about this, but basically the polymer molecules in the plastic start to break down, and that results in less plasticity. And if you make filament like this, you're going to find that it's much more brittle than it should be. So what we really need to do here is mix in some fresh PLA pellets to stabilize that recycled material. In response to the Creality M1 video I did before, many people said things like, if I can't use 100% recycled material, then the M1 is not good. So I thought I would point this out because it has nothing really to do with the Creality M1 and everything to do with the chemistry of plastics. And any filament recycling system is going to face these same issues. Okay, so having come to terms with the fact that we're going to need to mix some fresh pellets into our shredded material here, you're probably asking what the ideal amounts are. And the answer is about 50-50. So I'm going to make a small recycling batch, and I'm going to use 100 grams of recycled material and 100 grams of pellets. And with my material measured here, I can just mix the recycled material and pellets together into a single container, give it a bit of a shake to mix everything up, and we're ready to go. Now you can pinch the percentages of these pellets down a bit, and I'd be happy to do another video to show you what happens when you do, so leave a comment down below if you're interested in seeing that. All right, now let's bring everything together by taking the recycled material mixture and turning it into proper filament. For this step, I'm going to use Creality's M1 filament extruder. Now, if you saw my full review, then you already know how this works, but I'll give you a quick refresher as we go. Now, the first step is to select a material profile on the M1, and in this case, I'm working with PLA, so that's the one I'm going to choose. Now, one quick note here before we start. If you're using a non-standard spool like this empty Elegoo spool I have kicking around, then you're going to want to measure it and make a couple of measurements to set the machine up properly, because that way the winder knows how fast it needs to spin and how much movement the filament has from side to side to get the best winding onto the spool, rather than, a typical lumpy mess like you may have seen with some other filament extruders. Now I've quickly set up a custom profile for this, and I'll cross my fingers that things are going to work out to build the best roll of filament here. But I'll warn you in advance, I'm still running fairly early firmware on the M1. Now, here's that 1-to-1 mix of shredded plastic and fresh PLA pellets I created, and I'm going to dump that into the M1's hopper up on top here. Then I'm going to start the heaters and the extruder and get things turning to build up some pressure for proper extrusion. This is going to take a bit of time because it takes a while to heat things up, and after the heating process is complete, I'll take a few extra minutes just to let the extruded material start coming out the nozzle at a consistent speed. And when it does, I'm going to grab it and run it around the guide pins and down to the bottom of the M1. Creality provides a cup to catch this freshly extruded filament for this purpose, but I personally don't find it that useful, so I'm just going to grab it with my fingers. It's not that hot, and I'm going to run it around. Now, no doubt Creality will be cringing at this point, but it's just the workflow that I found is easiest for me. Down at the bottom of the M1, I'm going to run the filament out a bit longer until it's extruding with something close to the right speed. And after I cut the filament, I'm going to run it into the uptake puller that will eventually push it through the guide tube towards the spool. Now at the spool, I'll let another bit of filament run out until I'm happy with the diameter. I'll look on the display and make sure it's 1.75 millimeters. And then I'll slide it through the hole on the spool and keep tension on it just so it doesn't unravel. And when I'm ready, I'll start the winder and the filament will start winding onto the spool, hopefully with some consistency. I usually leave the leading piece of filament hanging through the hole on the spool, keeping some tension on it until the second layer is wound onto the spool and holds it. That way, I ensure that things don't unravel unexpectedly and just cause some messy spool winding. So, of course, the law of demos applies here. My attempt to make a nice, neat spool were completely crushed because I didn't obviously either measure properly or enter the numbers properly in my profile. And the spool looked kind of lumpy. It's not terrible, but it's not as nice as it could be. Now, I did previously use the Creality spool to do this, and its measurements are built into the M1, so it worked really well. And you can see it's packed very tightly here, and it looks like it was store-bought. And just like that, we've taken a bunch of purge material that we were probably going to throw in the garbage and turned it back into usable filament on a spool. But the real question is, does this actually print well? So let's find out. Okay, so we've shredded it, we've prepared it, and we've extruded it. Now let's see if this actually works as proper filament. So let's get it loaded into a 3D printer, and in my case, I'm going to load it into the AMS of my Bamboo H2D. Now, there aren't any special filament settings for this. I'm just going to tell the printer that it's regular PLA, and we're ready to go. Now, I'm going to show you 3 ways to use this filament, and I'm going to walk you through each of them, but the first one here should be pretty obvious. I'm just going to take an arbitrary model, print it with this filament, and in this case, I'm going to print this clamping ring that I'm doing for another project. And it's really nothing complicated. It's just regular printing, but I want to see how this filament performs with just printing some regular part. So I'll show you a bit of the printing here, but this video is not really about the printer, it's about the filament. So I'm going to just jump to the end, and through the magic of video editing, I'll show you the finished part. So let's have a closer look, and you can see that the print here, the print quality rivals pretty much any other filament you would want to use, though the color here can be a bit interesting, and that's just the virtue of using recycled filament of multiple colors. But in the end, you can definitely use this filament for any regular printing that you're going to do. And that could be something like making prototypes or printing parts ultimately that may be painted where you don't care about that underlying color. The second use case I want to talk about here is to use this recycled filament to save a bit of money on more expensive materials when you're printing by using this for supports. So I just made this model up. It's just got a big overhang, and I printed it here to highlight the support usage. You can see as it's printing, the support material is our recycled filament, and then our main model is in white. At the end, when I pull this off, the supports come off really easily, of course, and the white model is fine, and there's no traces of our recycled filament stuck to the bottom of it or anything. So again, you can use recycled filament for supports, and you can save quite a bit of money depending on the model. Now, you will notice the purge tower back there. When you're switching materials, you always have a purge tower. I'll talk a bit about that in a second when we talk about, the relative worth of using recycled material. And the final use case where I would use recycled filament is to replace expensive materials that are getting used for infill. There's no reason to do it because it's all going to be covered up. So this one really depends on the slicer you're using, but most slicers will let you use different filament for infill. Though in the case of Bamboo Studio, you will need to turn on developer mode to get this feature. Now, for this example, I'm just going to print a basic white block. It'll be white on the outside and recycled filament for infill on the inside. You can see it printing here, and the final results look unexciting, of course, but inside it is filled with that filament. It's much, much cheaper than printing with any other kind of material on your printer. So clearly the recycled filament we made works, and it actually works very well, indistinguishable from any other PLA filament. Now, it did require some pellets, of course, so the mixture wasn't completely free, but it's definitely cheap compared to some of the other filaments I would print with. And that brings us to the ultimate question. Is recycling filament actually worth it? And the costs involved here really matter, since most people are going to use this as a big deciding factor in purchasing something like a Creality R1 and M1. Now, on one hand, you're literally turning waste back into usable filament, and since this material would normally be thrown away, we can consider all of that a free resource. But this does require a portion of the filament we make to be new PLA or PETG pellets, and those need to be purchased. Now, where I live, I'm buying a kilogram of PLA or PETG pellets for about $7.45 US, converted from my currency. And that means I would need to spend about $3.70 for each recycled spool. Now, compare that to a regular spool that you would buy online, on average $15 for that spool. And the savings will rack up pretty quickly here, saving you, $11.30 a spool. Now, on the other hand, the Creality R1 M1 combination isn't cheap either. It's $1,700 MSRP, though currently you can get this for $1,200 in pre-launch pricing, and you can find a link to that in the description down below. But crunching some numbers, the break-even point here would then be about 150 spools of filament, give or take. The more subtle reason the R1 and M1 might make sense is if you have a particular passion for the planet. I'm not a tree-hugging environmentalist, but I really don't want to throw out 5 to 10 kilograms of plastic every month, and it would make a lot of sense for me at almost any cost as a result of that. On a side note here, I want to point out that 83% of people who watch videos on this channel aren't subscribed. So if you get value, click that button down below. It helps me out. It's a bit of a vanity number. So what do you think about the Creality R1 M1 combination and what they can actually do to save you some money? Is recycling your own filament something you'd actually do, or is it just easier to keep buying more new spools? I'm really curious where you land on this, so let me know in the comments down below. And with that, I'll wind down. I'll say get out there, make your world, and I'll see you next time.